Whether you come from Manhattan and Broadway over to Armagh, it's a matter for yourself. But Jill McEneaney, who's the theatre director of the Marketplace Theatre there in Armagh, is here to tell us about that wonderful theatre and the lovely concept that is theatre in Armagh. The Marketplace is a lovely theatre.
Yes, it's a fantastic venue. It's been open for 14 years now, and over that time, hundreds of productions have come through our doors, and it's a very eclectic programme. So everything from drama to dance to music. The whole works is there really, and lots of participatory activity as well, and exhibitions.
Physically, tell the folk what makes the Marketplace different, makes it special.
It's right in the heart of the city, so it's very much about the regeneration of the city whenever it was built, and I think has been successful in that regard. It's an award-winning building in itself, very contemporary.
What makes it award-winning?
It's a very contemporary building, so architecturally it has won awards, and it sits very nicely compared to the wonderful Georgian architecture, which obviously is right throughout Armagh.
It's not, as Prince Charles would have said, it's not a carbuncle.
It's definitely not a carbuncle, no. It sits very well, and when everyone comes to see us, then they'll see that. So it's a contemporary building with a very vibrant programme, but right in the heart of the city, which I think is important.
So I suppose I mentioned Broadway there. You suppose you can do in Armagh what one would do in Broadway. Pop out to have the beginnings of one's evening meal, go to the theatre, and then come back for the main course later on. Yes,
the theatre itself has a restaurant and bistro, but there's also a lot in the city centre of Armagh, so there are lots of restaurants, cafe, bistros, bars right around that area, so you can have your meal, come and see a show, and then take a drink afterwards and chat about the show that you've just seen.
Jill, Armagh has got quite a handle on doing arty things and doing them well. What's the ethos? Because the production, there's your Brian Boru thing. It's a magnificent looking booklet.
It is.
And you do things rather well. What drives the theatre spirit in Armagh?
It's, I suppose, the huge history of Armagh. Obviously, it's the ecclesiastical capital of Ireland, and there's always been, the city of saints and scholars, so you have that kind of studious, scholarly aspect to it, but also culturally it's very vibrant. We have the Armagh Pipers in Armagh, the wonderful William Kennedy Piping Festival, the John Hewitt Summer School. There's always been, even before the theatre was open, the reason the theatre opened was because of the demand for cultural activity, not to bring cultural activity. So that's the right way round to do it, really. Absolutely. So the cultural programme in Armagh was always very strong. I've been there, I think the theatre opened in March and I sort of came in December. And
so you're almost 14 years.
I've been there 14 years as well, nearly, which is fantastic. And it's the most, Armagh itself is a wonderful place to work. But the demand for cultural activities is phenomenal in Armagh, and as you say, at the minute we're right in the middle of the fantastic Brian Boru Festival, which is obviously commemorating the 1000th anniversary.
Tell us about this festival.
Well, Brian Boru, one of the High Kings of Ireland, died 1,000 years ago, and this is really a festival which is right across Ireland, which is commemorating the anniversary of that, but doing so in a way at which it looks at the legacy of Brian Boru, where we have musical events. We had a wonderful event in the Church of Ireland Cathedral there last week, which is a musical event by the cultists, and then this Thursday we have a fantastic community celebration in the cathedral as well. But also last week we had Viking boats on the lake in Loughgall Country Park. We've a full Viking village on the Mall in Armagh on the 3rd and 4th of May, so where Armagh is coming down with Vikings. Yes. So I think there'll be Vikings and cricket on the Mall as well next Sunday. So
it could only happen in Armagh.
It could.
For goodness sake, yes.
But no, it's a fantastic festival, and it gives people an opportunity really to start to bury themselves a bit in the history of Armagh, but do so
people have to the 4th of May to experience it.
Yes, indeed. Yes, we've activities all of this week now, as I say, the musical activities, and then the Viking activities, and the Armagh Rhymers, another fantastic cultural organisation from Armagh, taking part in a celebration at the cathedral this Wednesday with lots of school children from the area. So it's a very inclusive festival, and we've tried to engage schools, community groups, musicians and so on in all of the celebrations. And then as soon as the Brian Boru Festival's over, we're into the Giro d'Italia, which I'm sure you know all about.
The cyclists who are going to flash past in the twinkling of an Armagh eye.
That's right.
You'll scarcely see them.
That's
They'll be that quick going through.
Well, I think the sort of fantastically exciting aspect is we have a a festival day the day before the race itself. So we're basically welcoming.
Festival day?
Well, we have music on the bandstand. There's a bandstand in the centre of Armagh. So we have a full programme of music both there and right throughout the city as well. We have street performers. We have an Armagh Italian bake-off in the middle of the city as well. So we've got pizzas and apple pies being baked right before your very eyes in the city centre. We also have an organisation called Ramp Rage who do fantastic bicycle stunts, and they'll be down on the Mall throughout the whole of the...
Stunts.
Yes,
not
push bike.
not
No, push bikes, yes. And then a big concert on the evening of Saturday the 10th. So really what Armagh's trying to do there is welcome the world really into the
You see, it strikes
me,
Jill, it strikes me with some force that you're way beyond theatre. You're way beyond individual events.
Yes.
Armagh PLC has got it. You're strong. And one wonders what's the next stage in the development of the philosophy.
I think just the development of events, which are a key part of the strategy of tourism within Armagh, making sure it is seen as very much a destination to come to for specific events, but also whatever time of the year you come, there'll be something happening. There'll be something cultural or educational or historical. Without the events, Armagh has so much to offer with its facilities.
Why is it that Derry/Londonderry is coming to my mind as you speak? They're doing similar things up there. You're replicating them, or they're replicating you. But in any event, you're doing things, and you're making it a destination resort, so to speak. Not a resort, but
well, obviously Derry had the fantastic year last year as city of culture, and
fraught with its ups and downs, mind you. It had its difficulties, but the legacy is good. It feels good.
And I think what it did was it certainly put Northern Ireland as a whole, I think, on the kind of on the tourist map. And Armagh has long been there, but I think it's an opportunity for us to kind of get on the coattails of that and keep going. And I mean, the council in Armagh is so determined that tourism will be such at the centre of Armagh's development, and that events will be part of that.
I should know this, and forgive me for not knowing it. But are you merging with anyone else as a council?
Yes. Obviously, there's the big local government reorganisation. So we will be in with what is currently Craigavon Council and Banbridge
got balancing
Council.
lakes now.
We've got wonderful lakes, yes, and Banbridge as well. So yes, it'll be a very different looking organisation, but from the point of view of people actually coming to visit, really, there should be no sort of sense of difference. They'll still want to see everything that all the councils have to offer, but most particularly Armagh with his historic kind of cultural offerings.
Of course, yes. Most particularly Armagh, yes, indeed. But it seems to me, I was saying you're beyond theatre, you go beyond your theatre and more. I have this sense of to be a friend of Armagh, that people could, all over the world, could enlist in the family of Armagh by becoming a friend of Armagh, and by, in some way, being subjected to, being exposed to the Armagh ethos of quality theatre and quality event.
Yes, I mean, I think if you're a kind of cultural being at all, or somebody that likes even to look into the history of their own family, I mean, there's a strong kind of link to that in Armagh. The whole genealogy side of it, or just the history of Ireland, with the Navan Centre, obviously, as well in Armagh, as well as the two cathedrals. So whatever your sort of particular taste, be it personal or more generally historical or cultural, then there is something there for you to sort of tap into. And then whilst you're there doing that, then come along and see something else as well. But yes, it's far beyond the theatre as a building, but that forms a good hub for,
of course it does,
for the artistic activity.
So if I'm coming to Armagh, where do I stay? You've got the City Hotel.
We've got the City Hotel, which is fantastic. We also have the Charlemont Hotel.
Where is that?
That is very close to the theatre again, right in the city centre, so within walking distance of all the main attractions. And then we have a wonderful range of guest houses and bed and breakfasts run by local people, and quite often that's what people want to see when they're coming to a city, is to stay with somebody local who can give them lots of information about the local area. And there's a fantastic youth hostel which just reopened again last year after a major refurbishment.
Fantastic.
So it's again right in the city centre, just behind the Church of Ireland Cathedral.
We find you on a website, do we?
You do, yes. We got armagh.co.uk.
Armagh.co.uk.
And you'll find armagh.co.uk, and you'll find all the information on everything from accommodation, wonderful restaurants, to all the events and activities, yes.
Jean McEneaney, thank you very much indeed.
You're
well
more
done.
than welcome.
Take care. Armagh forever, as they said. There's one fair county in Ireland with memories so glorious and grand. Never mind that. Armagh and Down together, they'll do well. Andrew, some music, please.